Oh god. You've seen the title. You've seen the title. You've seen the thumbnail. You've seen the title, bro. You know it's been a minute. But you're probably wondering, what took you so long? What took you so long to upload a week in review, bro? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be very, very honest. Leading up to Crown Jewel, I'm not enjoying the build. I'm not enjoying WWE as I normally do. Now, I understand. Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, right? Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax, which, by the way, I'm still against. Cody Rhodes and Gunther, right? On paper, beautiful match. On paper should be a match that everyone should want, okay? Even the camera knows how good the match is because it zoomed in on my face, okay? Perfect match. The execution, the promos, they're good, they're great. Is it something I like? No. So that's why I haven't really been tuning in. And to change the format of Week in Review, we're going to be talking about other stuff. So quite recently, actually, I guess a week ago, depending on when this video comes out, Bryan Danielson retired. Now, if you don't know me, if you don't know my love for wrestling, then you probably don't know that Bryan Danielson is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I still highly rank WrestleMania 30 as like my favorite WrestleMania, quite simply because of Bryan Danielson. The fact that he's retired, gang, I don't believe it. Okay, I don't think it's something I want to believe. I don't think it's something that is going to happen. But look, if it does happen, it is what it is. Okay, Bryan Danielson has had an amazing career. Okay, but this ending that he had, I hated. Okay, I hated for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is because of how anticlimactic everything was. It just didn't, for me anyway, it just didn't make sense. If you enjoy AEW, more power to you. Okay, I just feel like one of the reasons why AEW is not the way that it used to be is quite simply because of the crowd. Okay, the crowd adds so much to an event. When you watch an AEW show, it feels like a pandemic show. And I'm not even bullshitting you. You can hear a pin drop in the crowd when a wrestler takes a bump or a wrestler hits their finisher. You hear a little cheer, but then it all just quiets down. The theme music should be lower than the crowd reaction of the most over guy. And the fact that it's not just shows you how bad AEW really is. And I'm gonna be honest, man, I did not like a minute of Bryan Danielson's retirement, okay? I'm gonna talk about it a little more briefly, just simply because I just like Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I'd put him up there as like top 5, most definitely, because he's someone who I've followed. Like CM Punk, he's someone who I've also followed throughout my entire childhood. So the fact that he ended his full-time run like the way he did, and I know people from AEW, people from the AEW corner are gonna be like, oh look, you know, it's good, it's good, you know, AEW for life, ha, AEW beats WWE. But if I'm being completely honest, bro, just sit back and look at Bryan Danielson's career. Sit back and look at how good it's been. Okay, the world titles, everything, bro. Even in AEW, when he won the world title, why make him lose it so soon? Why make him lose it to someone like Jon Moxley, who's already been an AEW world champion? Why don't you put someone else over? Why don't you put someone like Hook over? Okay, I don't watch AEW, so I don't know how much Hook has developed in AEW, okay? But why don't you put the title on someone like him? Why don't you put a title on someone that will actually benefit with the championship? Rather than Jon Moxley, who's already developed. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you do Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega? Where the fuck is Kenny Omega? No one knows. I don't know. I don't watch the company to know, okay? I could probably Google search it, but the fact that I don't know these things from listening to WWE wrestling media even, and just like following wrestling media and everything else, nobody's talking about Kenny Omega. Everyone's talking about whoever's active. No one's really talking about Kenny Omega. Alright, apologies for the arrogance throughout this video, but I just read about this Kenny Omega thing, and apparently he's been diagnosed with diverticulitis, which is a pretty serious injury. Apparently he went into surgery this past May. So it does make sense that Kenny Omega isn't in the AEW title picture at any point. I just didn't know that. I'm sorry for everyone that's probably right down in the comments typing. You can scroll back up and continue watching the video, okay? I apologize, okay? But yeah, Kenny Omega's been diagnosed with diverticulitis. Wish him a very speedy recovery. I didn't actually know about this until literally just now. I've been reading about it during editing this video. So yeah, I hope you accept my apology, and yeah, let's continue with the video, bro. But anyway, if he's injured, then it makes sense, okay, to not do that. But why not wait? Why not wait for Kenny? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not put the title on Hangman Adam Page? He's done the best work with Swerve Strickland, okay? And I've followed some of their moments when they were having their feud. They were having some amazing spots. Why don't you give the titles to Hangman? Why don't you give the title to him? Why don't you do Hangman versus Danielson 3 or 4 or whatever, you know, season it is? Why put it on Jon Moxley? That's my biggest complaint about that. And I feel like this was very anticlimactic. I feel like everything, that whole segment was so muddled up all over the place. People, I already know the AEW community, if they watch this, is probably gonna come at me like, AEW fans for life. It's all about preference. And I don't prefer that type of wrestling, okay? I'll talk shit the same way I talk to AEW as WWE, bro. WWE is literally doing a similar job with the Gunther and Cody Rhodes stuff and the Liv Morgan and Nia Jax stuff leading up to Crown Jewel. All of it feels like filler. It doesn't feel like a story. It doesn't feel like there's any backstory towards it. And that's what AEW is. That's what AEW is literally doing. There's no stories. Either there's minimal stories or there's no stories at all with anyone. And you're putting these two, you're putting these guys against each other for what? For no reason, bro? Like, come on. You need to have a reason. You need to have a way of portraying why Mariah May should fight Anna Jay. Like, why the fuck is that match happening? Dude, there's no story there. They only had like 2 weeks of build-up. Why are you doing that match? And then they're gonna bond that build up. They're gonna do Mariah May versus some Japanese chick. And that's it, bro. Why though? Also, real quick, touching on this little topic of booking. They just gave the Ring of Honor World title to Chris Jericho. Why, bro? Why did they give that to Chris Jericho? Did he need it? Did he need the world title? Like, come on, dude. Why did you do that? Stupid ass booking. And then, this is something I didn't mention in the video. Adam Cole and MJF, their feud, right? MJF was the babyface, Adam Cole was the heel, right? And Adam Cole turned on MJF. They were a good tag team, right? That whole storyline was great. Unfortunately, Adam Cole had an injury, which is cool, which is fine, okay? But why reverse the roles? Like, how the fuck does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, illogical AEW booking. Look, I'm just here making videos for it, okay? Making content for it. Feeding you all with that nasty, nice content. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Apologies if I sound a bit moody in this video, because I genuinely do. I genuinely do sound a bit moody. During editing this, I was like, what? Why am I so negative about this? But yeah. Anyway, let's continue with the video. Do you get what I'm saying? AEW is just not something that, story-wise, it's not the greatest. Match-wise, it's pretty good, but again, it's no different to what WWE are doing, match-wise anyway. But WWE have it in a way where it's like all story. You literally have developing feuds. Let's take Kevin Owens, for example. Kevin Owens has had this build-up to be a heel for such a long time. And the fact that he's a heel now is amazing in itself. But not just that, he also has a story behind why he's a heel. And he has a story with the victims that he's turned on. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes are the two people that he's attacked. Why? Because he's been chilling with Randy Orton for a year, and Randy Orton's been on Cody's side, and Cody Rhodes is on Roman's side. So it makes sense. Logically, it makes sense for Kevin Owens to turn heel. Logically, it makes sense for Kevin Owens to crash out on X, because it just makes sense, dude. It makes sense. When you have AEW programming, it's a high flyer versus a high flyer, and we expect to enjoy that. We expect to enjoy two people flipping off the top rope, doing this at the end of the fucking match, dude. They do their flip, and then they do this. They just stay like this, bro. Like Spider-Man. They think they're Spider-Man, bro. They think they're him. It's just not the way that I like wrestling. Okay? I love wrestling. Alright? I'm a passionate fan of wrestling. And I feel like the whole reason why AEW is dying down is because of its wrestling. Now, I'll give AEW props for where it's due. Okay? The roster is fucking stacked. Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson's retired, Jon Moxley, okay? You have a stacked roster. I'm not even talking about the women. Mariah May, Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné. You've got a stacked roster. Use them properly for stories, bro. I don't get it. Okay, it might be a writer's issue. It might not even be a Tony Khan issue. It might be a writer's issue. The writers might be just brain dead. You know what I'm saying? It might be fucking Vince Russo behind the pen just writing. This is another thing as well, okay? And I'm going off about AEW right now. It's only been like 12 minutes since I've started recording. But let's talk about it, bro. Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was expected to return at Wrestle Dream, but apparently the reason why he wasn't was because Swerve was returning. Okay, and they didn't want to do a beatdown angle on Swerve apparently because it was his hometown. Understandable, okay? But wouldn't that have made it better? Wouldn't that have made it better? Wouldn't that have solidified Bobby Lashley as a heel? Wouldn't that have made Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business better as a heel? Why would you want to have a babyface have his moment on the first day of his return when you have someone that could be a heel attack the babyface, right? And get booed by the hometown crowd. Why don't you do that, bro? Oh my god, the illogical thinking is so stupid. And now, my opinion, okay? If they don't build this properly, if they make Bobby Lashley debut next week, bro, I feel like this return or this debut or whatever it is gonna fall flat. It's not going to, it isn't gonna make sense if they make him return next week or if they make him return at the next big pay-per-view. It will make sense then, but it's like, why didn't you do it then? Why didn't you do it when people wanted that debut, when people wanted to see something? All right, cool. I'm done with the AEW crash out, okay? I'm done with the AEW crash out. Let's talk about WWE now. Let's talk about the faults with WWE, okay? I have not been enjoying this Crown Jewel filler arc, okay? I have not been enjoying the Crown Jewel, I guess the making of Cody Rhodes versus Gunther and Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. I said this in my other Bad Blood review. I hate the fact that they made Raquel Rodriguez an Uber driver, bro. I hate that. A lot of people are gonna look at this video. They're gonna think, yo, you're so moody about wrestling. Why are you so moody about wrestling? I have a passion for wrestling. I love wrestling, okay? I think wrestling is something that is so fucking unbelievable that there should not be any, you know, there shouldn't be any fault, but there will be faults, okay? And that's something that you gotta deal with, you know what I'm saying? When it's something like that, when it's something like, oh, Raquel Rodriguez just came up, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she's gonna be an Uber driver for Liv Morgan, you know what I'm saying? Cool. Alright. But why? Why though? She lost all her aura that she had. She lost all that excitement that she had. And now the crowd don't even give a shit about her. And I literally said, if she becomes a bodyguard for Liv Morgan, it won't be it. And the fact that it's happening is why I'm pissed off at that. The Cody Rhodes versus Gunther feud, I already talked about it. You already know why I don't like that. It's just filler content. There's no aftermath to it. There's no after the fact to it. And that's why I don't like AEW, but I've already talked about that. There's nothing going forward after that match. I know it's for a lot of people that, you know, like short-term storytelling, X, Y, and Z. Triple H likes long-term storytelling, so this is a little bit of a change. I appreciate it, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't feel strong enough, especially when you have someone like Cody Rhodes and Gunther facing, okay? The match is going to be amazing. I've said this before too. The match is going to be amazing. Seeing the build-up now, it just feels really random. Cody Rhodes coming to Smackdown, Gunther, you know, just speaking his shit to Cody Rhodes, which is cool, but like, I don't know, it just falls flat for me, okay? One thing I do like about WWE right now is the Bloodline stories. So last Smackdown, we had Jey Uso come out on Smackdown And basically, Jay and Jimmy have been on this thing where it's like, oh, Jimmy's basically saying, oh, I want you to join back to the Bloodline. Jay is like, no, I'm good. You know, I don't want to join the Bloodline. No yeet. And Roman Reigns is now convincing Jey Uso to join the Bloodline. Jay's like, no yeet. And then we had this little segment with Solo Sikoa and Jey Uso on SmackDown as well. But yeah, that segment was great. And then you had Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa and Friday Night SmackDown, which was great. Okay, I like that stuff. I like that stuff when they're trying to, you know, build this Bloodline story. I feel like that's the watchable part of Friday Night SmackDown right now. And it's sad because Cody Rhodes is so good, bro. And he's probably the least watchable right now. Like, and I'm a Cody fan. I like Cody. I just don't like the fact that he's not watchable. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I haven't been, you know, in the mix of the weekend reviews, man. I'm gonna be real. It just hasn't really been enjoyable to me. The product itself hasn't really been great, to be honest. Just a bunch of filler content leading up to Crown Jewel. I get why. Also, they released the new Crown Jewel women's title, which is basically a white strap, but the same design. And I'll be honest, the white strap looks worse than the dark one, okay? And I like the black one, okay? I know it's a controversial decision, but it reminds me of like a big title. It reminds me of something really prestigious. I know it doesn't mean jack shit. It looks prestigious, okay? It looks like something that a champion would want. So that's why I like that title. And yeah, as for Monday Night Raw, I'll be honest, I have not been watching. I've heard all the things with the 2-hour episodes. I tried watching a Monday Night Raw. And I'll be honest, dude, it feels rushed. It feels so rushed. Like everything is happening. And they've managed to fit in the same level of ads as you would on a 3-hour show, which is just not really something that I'd like. But hopefully with the Netflix switch over, I don't know how that would look like. I don't know if a Monday Night Raw episode will reach the full 2 hours, or it would just be a 1-hour show mixed with 1 hour of ads. You know what I'm saying? I feel like SmackDown right now is the better show. I feel like SmackDown right now is the show that I'm watching right now and the show that I'm actually loving. They just debuted the Motor City Machine Guns, which is absolutely fucking amazing. If you know TNA, if you've known Impact in the 20s, 200s, 200s, damn, I'm talking to the dinosaurs at that point. No, 2000s, 2010s. You'd know how sick this is. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley debuting on a SmackDown episode, on a WWE show, bro. It in itself is crazy. And apparently the Lucha Bros are coming as well. I think that would be absolutely amazing as well. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I know this wasn't much of a weekend review. This was just a crash out of AEW, and then it's another crash out of WWE. That's what I currently think of the world of professional wrestling right now. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if I cooked or not. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Deuces, ooses, yeet!